Hello there, I Aishwarya welcome you all to a fresh new episode of Science Monitor, our weekly update on all that is happening in the field of science and technology in and around the country. How successful is ISRO with its latest and strongest rocket? Why is Bengaluru Lake spitting out toxic froth? And how to make paper microscopes at home? We will explore answers to all these fascinating questions in today's episodes. Besides, we'll also talk about the World Environment Day with our special guest. But first, let's take a look at the headlines. The most powerful rocket till now, GSLV Mark III, to be launched on 5th of June. Varthur Lake pollution, devastated population, 76 industries sealed. Microscopes from papers, Indian origin scientist amazes the scientific world. And World Environment Day celebrates Connect to Nature theme. ISRO is set to add another feather to its cap of success as researchers gear up for the launch of ISRO's biggest and most powerful rocket ever. GSLV Mark III is all ready to be launched from the Sriharikota Rocket Launching Center on 5th of June. And the most interesting fact about this rocket, which is capable of launching the heaviest satellite, is that it's a special cryogenic engine has been indigenously developed in India.
ISRO is at its best once again, this time with the heaviest rocket ever made by India. Yes, ISRO is gearing up to launch the geosynchronous satellite launch vehicle Mark III on June 5th. GSLV Mark III is set for its first developmental flight from the Satish Dhawan Space Center in Sriharikota, carrying GSAT-19 satellite. GSLV Mark III is hailed as the heaviest rocket ever made by India and has been deemed capable of carrying and launching 4-ton satellites and placing up to 8 tons in a low Earth orbit. Mark III is fascinating in many senses. The 640-ton rocket, equal to the weight of 200 fully grown Asian elephants, is the country's heaviest but shortest rocket with a height of 43 meters. It has taken 25 years, 11 flights and over 200 tests on different components of the rocket for it to be completely designed. And what is more, the special cryogenic engine of the rocket based on liquid oxygen and liquid hydrogen has been indigenously developed. Once successful, GSLV Mark III is likely to be India's vehicle of choice to launch people into space.
Following Bellandur Lake, the Varthur Lake of Bengaluru, one of the largest in the city, is today a victim of devastating effects of industrial pollution. According to reports, the lake has recently been witnessing the formation of huge volumes of froth and occasional catching of fire, posing serious health concerns to local residents. Varthur Lake is a dump yard of cities' sewage and industrial chemicals, and the frothing is likely the result of the same.
Like every year, the world is celebrating Environment Day on 5th June. But as focus is on the theme Connect to Nature, the residents of Bengaluru are finding it difficult to do so. Local residents concerned about the pollution of Bellandur Lake in Bengaluru are in a state of panic, as Varthur Lake, one of the largest lakes in the city, has also started spitting toxic froth. While with the froth spilling onto the roads, transport has become an issue. It has also raised serious health concerns.
Vehicles भी जाने को नहीं होता है, बहुत प्रॉब्लम होता है. मतलब वो स्किन के ऊपर ये स्किन एलर्जी होता है, सब जाने भी नहीं हो रहा है, बहुत तकलीफ होता है. इधर आने भी डर लगता है. मतलब क्या होता है, गिर जाएगा तो क्या प्रॉब्लम है, कौन देखता है.
Perhaps world's most polluted lake, Bellandur, has been a subject of concern and debate for the past decade. The lake, which is dump yard of industrial waste, produces highly toxic froth which often spreads to the surroundings and spills out to the road like lava. The incidents of toxic fire are quite common in the lake. The lake collects tons of sewage and wastes rich in phosphates, nitrates, arsenic and other toxic wastes every day. Taking strict measures, the Karnataka government has sealed about 76 industries on 26th May, known to contribute to the pollution of the lake. There are also moves to install water pollution checkers in the 157 apartments located within the radius of the lake.
In spite of NGT orders being there to look at the industrial pollution and to start beginning action on the sewage inflow, the government has not done enough. The fundamental flaw in the government is that they have not sincerely attempted to look at the sewage quantification that is flowing into the lake, the industrial pollutants that are flowing into the lake from various upstream lakes.
Bengaluru, known as the Silicon Valley of India and providing information technology services across the world, need to take urgent and efficient measures to curb the toxic froth bubbling at the heart of the city. While the National Green Tribunal has banned constructions in and around Bellandur Lake, the state government and the State Pollution Control Board has directed investigations on the latest reports of fouling of these lakes.
The invention of microscopes, needless to say, changed the course of scientific research. Now, taking microscope technology further is the foldoscopes, the new paper-based microscopes. Foldoscopes are created from simple paper and lens can be easily created at home and offer a wide scope of studying pathogens in water samples and diagnosing diseases as well. And what is more, they have been developed by an Indian origin researcher.
Microscopes of various types are extensively used by researchers to view tiny objects invisible to naked eye. But not only are conventional microscopes expensive, they are also bulky, making them difficult to be carried around. But recent addition to the microscopy technology is an instrument that can not only be built with our own hands, but can also be easily carried along. Yes, it is time for the foldoscopes. Developed by Indian origin researcher Dr. Manu Prakash, working at the Stanford University, foldoscope, created from paper, is a revolutionary new idea.
That we need people to be excited about science. You know, most of the time you say, go read this, go read that. You watch TV and you think you learn. You don't learn that way unless you do it yourself. And so one of the challenges for us was to make something that will be cheap enough, but at that same time, you have the experience of using a microscope.
The affordable foldoscope technology makes use of paper and small magnification lenses to imitate the working of large scientific microscopes. Foldoscopes, a cheaper alternative to microscope, besides being waterproof, comes with a 2000x magnification lens with 1 submicron resolution, which enables the visualization of tiniest organisms like bacteria. Foldoscope can also be fitted with a LED light source for better resolution. Easily handmade at home, foldoscopes can be used to test water samples to detect infectious agents and also diagnose some common disorders.
यह माइक्रोस्कोप बहुत ही बेहतरीन है और सस्ता भी है. हम लोग जिधर रहते हैं उधर हेल्थ प्रॉब्लम रहते हैं बहुत, मतलब पानी जो पीने का वो अच्छा नहीं आता है. फिर ये माइक्रोस्कोप से हम लोग पेपर माइक्रोस्कोप से वो पानी भी हम लोग देख सकते हैं कि अच्छा है कि नहीं.
रिमोट एरिया में और अंडर प्रिविलेज एरिया में जहाँ डिजीज़ेस होते हैं वहाँ उनको पता नहीं चलता कि एक्चुअली प्रॉब्लम क्या होता है, क्योंकि उनको एक्सेस नहीं होता. ये जो छोटी चीज़ है इससे हम बहुत इनक्रेडिबल चीज़ें माइक्रो लेवल तक देख सकते हैं और इसका यूज़ हेल्थ एरिया में बहुत होता है.
While foldoscope holds a huge potential for application in various areas of research, it also can encourage students' interest in the subject of microbiology and related research. Foreseeing its huge potential, India's Department of Biotechnology has come to an agreement with the developer Prakash Lab for the distribution of fold scopes in the country. Fast gaining popularity, the innovation is likely to prove to be of much help in scientific research in the coming years.
And time now for a very short break. We'll be back with more science news. Keep watching Science Monitor. In our previous episodes, we have seen how the world is fast losing out on its rich biodiversity owing to thoughtless human actions. While we directly or indirectly degrade our natural environment, seldom do we realize that the very survival of human species depends on it. Reminding us of our responsibilities towards environment is the World Environment Day, which is celebrated on 5th of June every year. Now this year, the World Environment Day is focused on the theme Connect to Nature.
Earth. With its diverse and scattered forms of plant and animal life, is one of its kind planet in the entire universe. The Earth is 4.5 billion years old. We humans have been here only for a few 100,000 years. Human civilization as we know it today is only about 6,000 years old, and industrialization started only in the 1800s. But during this very short span on this planet, we humans have degraded the environment in more than one reckless ways. Human activities, including large-scale destruction of forests, poaching, indiscriminate use of chemical insecticides and pesticides, introduction of new hybrids, destruction of wetlands for construction and other purposes, creation of oil slicks, exploitation and wastage of natural resources, etc., has led to massive and in some cases irreparable damage to the environment. While humans have accomplished much in a very short time, it also makes it our responsibility to take care of the only planet we live on right now. Reminding us of our huge responsibility towards the environment is the World Environment Day, celebrated annually on the 5th of June. World Environment Day was established by the United Nations General Assembly in 1972, commemorating the United Nations Conference on the Human Environment and with the aim of raising awareness against environmental issues. All life forms on Earth, including wildlife, are interconnected in an intricate manner, and loss of one link can damage the entire harmony of nature. The Environment Day is an occasion where we all can become active supporters of sustainable living and take up responsible attitudes towards environmental issues.
So environment is an issue that concerns the entire world, and to discuss the issue of a World Environment Day, we have with us in our studio today Mr. Kamal Singh, who is the Executive Director of UN Global Compact Network India. Sir, welcome to our program. Sir, now the theme of the World Environment Day this year is Connect to Nature. So tell us more about this theme and what is the objective of this theme?
Let me begin by saying that it is a very important day for all of us, and going forward, every man, woman, being on the earth, including even animal, required to live as per the nature requirement. And many of us have been misusing the nature more than one way, and it was felt that how do we create awareness and sensitize people by having a theme like connecting to nature, where our aim is to really make people aware as to how we have to be responsibly behave to nature. So that is why we have chosen the theme, and it is equally important as far as we in India are concerned. You have seen the impact of many calamities that have happened. It is largely to not playing our role of maintaining and also sustaining the responsibility that we owe it to environment. So we believe through this theme we will be able to reach out to all the stakeholders by sensitizing them that we have to really behave in a manner which will make our this world a better place and make it more sustainable. We should not be using all the resources the way we have been using, and we should make it more or protect rather biodiversity, and so that we can conserve the nature resources for future.
So now this World Environment Day is being celebrated every year since 1974, so it's been more than 40 years. So how successful you really think has been the observation of this day in conserving our environment?
It has been quite to large extent and been successful. In some of the countries it has really impacted the life more than one way. But as far as we are concerned in India, we have to be really responsible citizens, so that we are able to leverage or use the natural resources in a manner which not should be misused, so that our future generation can be more than one way feel that whatever action that we take, they will owe it to us, that yes, it is a good attempt. And going forward, as far as India is concerned, if you see the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, or led by our own Honorable Prime Minister, and that is one example that one can say how we are able to really recognize the need of making our environment livable, and also make it in a manner where we can at the same time grow more balanced manner.
Sir, you mentioned about how India really has been contributing for this cause, but India is a developing country. So the question is, how do we balance developmental activities with environmental protection?
Yeah, let me tell you that when our own Honorable Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi signed this treaty in 2015 in Paris, so along with the other nation, it was felt that we should reduce the emissions below 2% and the centigrade, and also see how we can bridge so much of the emerging pointers that are coming for global warming. So along with these nations, the India became a signatory, and it was really taken as a commitment from all the nations that we will jointly reduce this emission, so that the global warming that we are facing in all geographies can be reduced to a level where we could live this world more than better. Also, I would like to share with you that in India, the companies are now integrating their CSR projects, also in keeping in mind the challenges of the environment. Many of the companies are pushing this agenda. Those of the company, let me tell you one company that have done successfully is Dalmia Cement Bharat. This company has not only been able to maintain their bottom line more than one way, but also accelerated their growth, and also played a role by which I can say that this company has helped in maintaining the balance between the environment and the natural resources. And also there are companies who are now vigorously contributing towards Clean Ganga water campaign, and also towards the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, you know, the entire efforts of having toilets all across everywhere in a manner where this environment that we are thinking should be maintained in a manner where everybody can feel, yes, this world is a livable world.
Absolutely.
Also, I would like to share with you the at the other company level, these even including NGOs, including now government, in the recent time we have brought together all the stakeholders in one platform, where the objective was to galvanize all the resources towards maintaining all the sustainable development goals, but especially the environment.
Right. So you also mentioned about the Paris Climate Agreement, but there are now reports that the US President has signaled that the US is likely to exit the Paris climate deal. So in that case, if that really happens, so what do you think its ramifications are going to be on the efforts that are already going on worldwide to deal with global warming?
Yeah, it will certainly be a setback if US withdraw from this treaty that it has become a prime mover. And we have to now make efforts to persuade US to agree that whatever the commitment we had taken in 2015 when this treaty was signed, we should at least maintain. So it is not the US alone. There are many countries. If US withdraws from this treaty, then they will also be looking at this option that we can also get out of this responsibility. It is a collective responsibility towards earth, towards environment, and towards being responsible citizens. So to me personally, the US may have to rethink this strategy, and if they do, I would say it will certainly be a big setback.
All right. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us and sharing your perspective on that entire issue. Thank
Pleasure.
you so much for joining us today. That is all for today. We'll be back with fresh news stories on science and technology again next week. See you then. Bye-bye.